ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Words of the Master. Selected precepts of Sri Ramakrishna. This book compiled by Swami Brahmananda. Topic: God. Do you know how God dwells in man? He dwells in the same way as ladies of wealthy families do behind a latticed screen, chik. They can see everybody, but no one can see them. God abides in all in an exactly similar way. It is the nature of the lamp to give light. With its help, someone may cook food, some may forge deeds, and some may read the Bhagavata, Holy Scriptures. Is it the fault of the light? So, is it the fault of God that some may try to attain salvation with the help of His holy name, while others use His name for success in the attempted theft? You get what you seek. God is like a kalpataru, the celestial tree. Everyone gets from him what he seeks. A poor man's son, having received education and become a judge of the high court, is apt to think that he is all right. God also echoes his thought and says, "Do thou continue so." Afterwards, when the same judge has retired on a pension, he begins to see things in their true light and put to himself the question, "What real work have I done in this life?" God too echoes his words and says, "Yes, very true. What hast thou done?" There is no distinction between impersonal God Brahman on the one hand and personal God Shakti on the other. When the Supreme Being is thought of as inactive, he is styled God, the Absolute, Shuddha Brahman. And when he is thought of active, creating, sustaining, and destroying, he is styled Shakti or the personal God. One day, in the course of conversation about God, Mathur Babu observed. Mathur Babu was son-in-law of Rani Rashmani, the founder of Dakshineshwar temple. So he observed, God too is bound by the law of nature. He cannot act just he wishes. Sri Ramakrishna said, "How can that be so? He acts just as he pleases. He can do anything he likes." Mathur Babu said, "Can he produce white flower on this red hibiscus plant by his mere wish?" Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Certainly he can do that. If it be his wish, this red hibiscus plant shall bear white flower." But Mathur Babu did not seem to be fully convinced. As a matter of fact, however, in a few days it was seen that an hibiscus plant in the Dakshineshwar garden bore two flowers, one red and the other white, on two different branches. Sri Ramakrishna carried the main branch along with the two offshoots bearing the flower to Mathur. He felt highly surprised and exclaimed, "Father, I will never more argue a point with thee." Have you any idea of God with form and God without form? They are like ice and water. When the water freezes into ice, it has a form. When the same ice is melted into water, all form is lost. Tears were flowing out of the eyes of Vishmadeva when he was lying stretched on his bed of arrows, waiting for death. On seeing this, Arjuna remarked to the Lord Krishna, "Brother, how strange! Our grandfather, who is ever truthful, whose passions are under control, who is full of divine knowledge, and is himself one of the eight Vasus, a class of minor deities, he too is found shedding tears under the influence of Maya, delusion." On the Lord's mentioning this to Vishwadeva, the latter said, "O Krishna, thou knowest full well that I am not weeping through Maya. The thought that I cannot in the least comprehend the nature of thy Leela, sport, is what makes me weep. The Lord, by repeating whose holy names man surmounts all dangers, has himself been acting as the charioteer of the Pandavas and befriending them, and yet there is no end of their trials." Sri Ramakrishna accompanied Mathur Babu on his pilgrimage to Banaras. While stopping at the city, Sri Ramakrishna paid a visit to Trailanga Swami, to whom he put the question, "How is it that people speaks of so many gods, though there is but one God?" The Swami was observing a vows of silence, so he merely raised one of his finger and threw him into a sort of trance, hinting thereby that by meditation one comes to know that there is only one God, but by philosophical discussion the sense of unity is displaced by the sense of diversity. God with form and God without form are not two different beings. He who is with form is also without form. To a devotee, God manifests himself in various forms. Just think of a shoreless ocean, an infinite expanse of water, no land visible in any direction. Only here and there are visible blocks of ice formed by intense cold. Similarly, under the cooling influence, so to say, of the deep devotion of his worshipper, the infinite reduces himself into the finite and appears before him as a being with form. Again, as on the appearance of the sun, the ice melts away, so on the appearance of the Son of Knowledge, God with form melts away into the formless. Om Niranjanam Nittam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Vigrahang Avai Ishavatarang Parameshamidang Tvang Ramakrishnang Shirasha Namamaha.